Hey guys, good to see you. Sweet looking
What up,
microphones.
Shoddy?
Yeah.
Anybody
hey.
wearing underwear
What
today?
up, Shoddy?
Yeah. Where'd you guys get those microphones
What
from?
up, Shoddy?
What's shoddy mean?
Well, let's not. Why is that? Why do? What's
Because
what's with
it's cool, man.
What does shoddy mean?
Shorty is the...
No, it's shoddy. I think Justin Bieber says shoddy, doesn't he?
Oh my gosh, short.
What does it mean?
All right, it's an all-new SmartLess.
SmartLess.
Hey, Sean, do you have an understudy?
I do. He's great. Max Roll. He's amazing.
Now, have you given Max a chance to get up there and do his thing?
Yeah, one time. Well, so one night, remember, I chain smoked, right? I chain smoked on stage.
Right.
And it made my vocal cords just massively inflamed. And I couldn't barely talk. So I was like, so I missed one show and he went on. He was fantastic.
Oh, my God.
So now now I took out all this stuff from the cigarette. So now it's the vape pen that lights up when you suck in, but it's just air. So I took out all this stuff.
But you're still sucking.
I'm still sucking.
Hey,
I just wanted to get that audio clip. And guys, can you copy and paste that and thing in the file that I've got going of these guys saying stupid
that'd be a
shit?
sound. Is that a sound meme?
I'm really punchy today. I took a Valium last night just so I could sleep. And I was like,
Are you still up? Did it not work?
Yeah.
no, it worked. But I'm just like, hey, how's everybody
So
doing
wait, you
today?
just have like a loose bottle of Valium hanging around? Well, I don't understand. Is there like
A loose
Uber
bo-
drugs that you
A
just
loose
pop over? And,
Do you not understand how prescriptions work?
Yeah. No, I take one every few weeks.
what's the prescription look like on that?
What do you mean? It's a
Well-
Valium.
Yeah, but why do you have it?
Because like I if I have trouble sleeping like every several weeks, like I take one every couple months just to get back in the sleep habit.
That's a sleep aid, huh?
For me it
Yeah,
is.
do you know what a sleep aid is, JB?
Yeah, it's called, what's it called?
Gummy.
Ganja?
Ganja, gummies, Ambien, Xanax. I had not heard of the Valium. I thought Valium
Last time I
was for
called
pain.
JB, last time I talked to Jason after 7 p.m., he was like, Irie, man. That sounds Irie. Let's talk tomorrow. Greetings in the name of His Emperor I Selassie. I'm like, buddy, can you play golf tomorrow or not?
No, Jay, Valium's like it's the same family of Xanax and all those.
Oh.
That's a real fun family, by the way. It's like the Manson family.
It's the only
of
family that
drugs.
would accept me.
Oh, we're saving a seat for you, Sean.
Oh, Shawnee, good luck, buddy. Hey, listen, I'm feeling really punchy today, too. It's so hot out here on the East Coast.
It's unbelievably
Can you
hot.
get it cooler before I get out there, Willie?
I don't know, man. It's so
Is it
hot.
thick?
Very thick. And I was just riding my bike into town, and I was
It's
like,
gross,
halfway
isn't
there,
it?
I was like, this is a bad idea. It's really hot today. But anyway, I'm really excited, though, to be back here, to be back inside, to be talking to our guest.
I'm excited.
Our guest. I am such a I'm such a fan of our guest, and I'm also a personal fan of our guest.
This better not be
This
a
is
classy
funny person.
guest.
This is a funny. Well, she is. She's both. She's very classy and she's very funny, and I think that she started much more sort of serious, just based on her credits and the movies she did and the show she did, and then started to get into comedy, and was just an absolute home run when it comes to comedy. But then can kind of flip back and still do the serious stuff, which is really. If it wasn't so admirable, it'd be annoying. You know what I
Double
mean?
threat.
All the while being like a really cool person. We've never really worked together, except for we did represent a country once together. And I'll explain that in a second.
So she's Australian. She's Australian.
She's the pride of Australia.
Oh, I
we
know
know her
who it
from
is.
so many
Rose Byrne.
shows.
I love
It
Rose
is Rose
Byrne.
Byrne.
Yeah, I got it.
love Rose
Got
Byrne.
it. Hi, Rose. How's it going? Look at you. Is that a cute short haircut? Or we got it all up in the back?
I'm just like a top knot.
Well, you look how good you look in a bob. Okay?
Yeah. You look good in a bob.
It does look like I've kind of got a bob on, doesn't it?
How's it going?
Hi, how are you?
I haven't
Hi,
seen you for
Rose
so
Byrne.
long.
Rose Byrne, where are you right now?
Hi, friend. I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh.
Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, Brooklyn, New York. I'm on the East Coast. Yeah, I just got back from Australia.
Yeah.
the country we both represent.
Sure.
And
How'd that come about? Can we stop there?
Well,
for a
she
second?
allowed me to come along for the journey. She was really
Well,
representing.
tell
I was
people what
just-
you're talking about.
Rose, there's no shortage of really talented, handsome, funny men that are actually Australian. Well,
Sure.
so how far down the list do you go before you hit American and then to get to Will Arnett on the American list? So do we
Well,
just
being
go
Canadian.
through?
Canadian.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
it's
that's
a
right.
it's a spot that you both did, a commercial that you did for travel to Australia, right?
It was
Yeah.
a campaign for Tourism Australia. Thank you, Sean. Just in case our audience was confused, who gives a shit if they know what we're talking about or not when it comes to this?
I want to
They
know
don't need to know everything.
how do we cast Will Arnett in that, Rose?
well,
It was just my voice.
Yeah,
okay.
it was playing an American. The character
Yeah.
is a
Yeah,
you know
thank you.
this foreigner American who comes in,
got it.
and it's just he's a unicorn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Truly?
I am.
Like-
and my character is too. Yeah.
So you play an animated you play an animated American unicorn. What a commercial!
That's true.
Do you do an Australian accent, Will, at all?
Yes,
I
you
mean,
do.
I don't really. I don't.
A very good one.
Nice. Nigh.
No,
Can
I
you
back
do
to
one?
Rose.
You probably can.
Aluminium.
Yes, he does a very good one. Do it. Just a little. Bill. Give us a
What do you
little
want me
bit.
to s- what do you-
Come on, you're in
what
front of the
do you
green
want
screen. We could put
Ships
some
on.
Australian.
There's
shit in
a.
there.
Oh, that's a knife. You love doing the knife one. What
Oh yeah,
else?
that's not a knife. This is a knife. Yeah, that whole thing.
That's not bad.
Well, I mean, I get into, but then it becomes a whole thing about the dingo and it ate my baby and all this sort of stuff, and I don't want to get off track here, because then
Wait, what movie was that from? Was it that Nicole Kidman?
No.
No, Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep said with a straight face.
It's a really famous but very infamous case in Australia about a
Yeah.
woman who was jailed for murdering her child, Lindy Chamberlain.
and she tried to blame it on a dingo.
And and they didn't believe her, and it became this sort of national kind of witch hunt for her, and then she eventually was acquitted many years later. But it was a famous film with
And
Meryl
that big
Streep,
line was,
yeah.
and her big defense was
And the
a
big
dingo
thing
ate-
is, defense was the
cry in the
dingo.
dark.
dingo ate my baby.
Yeah,
It was-
crying,
it was-
that's what it was called.
It was sort of an Australian equivalent of Where's the Beef? I think. I mean, if we're
So
going to try
it
to,
was not a comedy.
it was not
She
a
said that
Oh,
seriously.
she found the laughs. Meryl found the laughs.
but it was a very serious case, and we're not downplaying the
No.
seriousness of what happened.
no,
and
no,
also
no.
just so
No.
again, spare us your letters. We don't want to hear it. We were just joking around. But
So
that's where Rose and I met, and I was absolutely immediately delighted to work with Rose. She's so professional, but forget the work. You're such a cool, fun person, and so exactly what I hoped you would be, which is like super down to earth and cool. And I was like, and super talented, and you're like, wow. Some people got it all, and then I work with these guys, and some people have none. So, but the point is, it was just such a delight to get to know you, and I'm such a fan of everything you've done, which is a lot. And when I start to go through all your
I thought he was
credits,
going to
I'm
say,
like,
except for
no, I was going to. So what happens is when I was knew that you were coming on today, and I'm going through all this stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, Rose was in that. Oh yeah, Rose was in that. I mean, you have made countless films and television.
Making the hay, guys. Making the hay.
You
know
gotta
what I'm
keep
saying?
dancing.
You gotta just crunch it out.
So what was the first one? What was the first professional gig that you can remember?
The first job I got paid for, I did this movie called, pretty strange little movie called Dallas Doll, not to be confused with Debbie Does Dallas.
no,
Sure.
No.
or
we're
North
gonna-
Dallas 40.
Yep.
Dallas Doll. I'm
Dallas
seeing a
Doll, yeah.
pole. It's a gold pole. It's shiny. No,
No, it was a cool little script, and I play Sandra Bernhard came out to do it to Australia in like the early '90s, and I auditioned and got this part. But I had started acting classes like at a youth program here in Sydney when I was like 8 years old, and then a casting agent came to one of my classes and cast me in this movie.
So you had this. Did you? And you ended up going to. You did this acting classes. Did you end up going and studying acting as well, like in a
I did.
academy?
I did. Well, I didn't get into NIDA, which is like the sort of most sort of well-known Australian, the National Institute of Dramatic Art, which is, very famous alumni.
Right.
But I didn't get in, guys. Didn't get in.
No.
They're
So
lost.
I just...
But by the way, they're kicking themselves now. And by the way, if you know in Australia, they kick themselves the other way. Yeah, they kick the other way.
Not a lot of people know that.
Not a lot of people know that. They kick the other way.
But I've worked with Jason too. I've worked out 2 out of 3 of you guys, which is pretty
This
cool.
is where I leave you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is where I leave
Yeah.
you.
That's
yeah.
so nice.
How long ago was that?
That was the comedy about sitting Shiva.
Yes.
That's
with
right.
Jane Fonda.
The Sean Levy vehicle.
Sean Levy,
Yeah.
the great Sean Levy, Adam
Shawnee,
Driver, Corey Stoll,
Amazing.
Tina Fey.
Amazing cast, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That is an amazing cast.
Yeah, we had a great
So you
time.
guys, so to go back, you get this movie with Sandra Bernhard. She flies all the way to Australia. You do this movie. Then what happens? That movie comes out, and you're like, I'm set. Dallas,
done.
baby. What's it called?
Literally
Dallas,
just stared
baby?
at the phone.
Ready to roll. I finished high school and I started auditioning for other TV jobs and stuff in Australia, and I got a few bits and pieces. And then when I was 18, I got cast in this film called Two Hands opposite Heath Ledger, directed by this wonderful writer-director, Gregor Jordan. And that film was a really big hit in Australia. And that was like, a sort of turning point, I suppose, for me back home. So that was in like 99, 98 or something. I was like pretty young. So I was Heath, who was like a teenager.
So you have this big hit in Australia. You're like, I'm out of here.
Then
Fuck
I
these
did the
guys.
classic thing of going to LA to just try to audition for years, and trying to get an agent. I remember I got my first agent, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm all set. I've got this agent. She's really great. She's got a great client list, and she signed me off the movie and went back to Australia. Never heard from her again.
No.
Never heard.
Name her right now.
Really?
Name her right now.
Where's the great Bobby Cannavale this morning?
Bobby, he's unpacking. Because we just got back, so he's like in the trenches with the kids unpacking. But he says hello to all of you.
Yes,
hi
and
to
Bobby
him.
Cannavale, who was on Will and Grace forever, playing
Yes.
Will's boyfriend.
Yes, yes.
And he played my superhero boss or supervillain
right,
boss
that's
in the
right.
thing with
Oh my God.
Melissa McCarthy where I had crab arms.
How did you guys meet?
Bloody funny. We met through an actor called Tate Donovan, who
Yep,
was
sure, of
on
course.
Damages, which is a TV show I did with Glenn Close.
Yes, you did.
For a long time.
Yes.
And
And Marty Short was on that too.
And Glenn
Yeah.
Kessler.
yes,
Glenn
yeah.
Kessler and Daniel Zell.
Dan Zellman was one of the creators.
Deborah Messing used to be married. Yeah. Look
yeah.
at all these connections.
Look at all that, guys. We're just crunching it
Guys.
out. Look
Wow.
at this.
Now, where is Bobby juggling? You have 2 young boys, right?
Yes, yeah, and he has a third boy, Jake, who is 28. Yes. as
Oh, my
well.
God.
So he's
So
got boys. Yeah.
Wow.
How do you guys do it? You guys both
Yeah.
work so much. I mean, I'm sorry if you get this question a lot, but it is just, I don't know how people do it, where you got 2 young kids and both parents are working all the time out of town. It must be tough. But are they both now in kindergarten or first grade?
Yeah,
Or
they're both like sort of in, but they've been. It's like I've had a job.
makes it harder, right?
It's hard, yeah, because then they're in school, but it's a little bit case by case basis. I don't know about you guys with your families and children and stuff, but a little bit case by case. Just do your best, like trying to
Right.
juggle
Sometimes
it.
in the summer they can come, but yeah.
A little bit, and they've gone to schools in LA on and off, so it's like a little bit of that kind of. But it gets older, it gets harder. Pardon me, as they get older, right? Will
Yeah, 'cause
and
they want to
Jason,
stay
It
close.
does.
thank you.
It does get harder. It does get harder, and it's a lot more of a negotiation. And because what happens is they have friends.
Yeah.
And Jason knows this too. They have friends, and they're like, "You're like, hey, we're gonna do this," and they're like, "No, man, I want to be with my buddies,
Right.
and we don't care about your thing."
Yeah. Craft service is great, but
I know. That's such a draw card, right? They love that. They talk about that. They just go, I want to
the
go back to
snacks.
the table with the snacks and the things.
I'm going through a thing right now where my 14-year-old is on a trip, and I haven't talked to him for 3.5 days now because he's not allowed to use his phone.
Oh, wow.
And I am suffering.
Yeah,
And
I
I bet
bet.
he's having a great time, and I am going crazy.
wait, Will, you have no idea, you have no way to check in with him yet?
Don't they have like a chaperone? That you
When
can
he
check?
got there, he was able to check in, and I FaceTimed him, and it was great. And then he checked in again later. He was like, hey, we got to give up our phones now because the deal was on this trip that everybody gives up their phones and that these guys, these sort of counselor guys, take them. And so we're like, yeah, this is really good. Meanwhile, my ex and I were like, this is great. This is great for him. And now, 3 days in, she and I are texting each other, being like, how do we get in touch with
What about the chaperone? Can you text the chaperone?
I mean, we can. We know that he's okay. We've gotten word and stuff.
Right.
He's fine. And right before he gave up his phone later of the first day, I tried to FaceTime. I tried to cram another FaceTime in.
And
he was like, Dad, I can't pick up the phone. What are you doing? And I was like, sorry.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Will.
I know.
I know, that's a
little Archie.
Aw.
He's a big boy
Guys,
now.
Will's sweet. I know he doesn't seem sweet, but this guy got a real soft, chewy center.
You're all sweet.
All right, Rose, what's going on this summer? Do you have any time to take any family trips aside from Australia?
Well, this was a pretty big one. It was like a month. I was in the Outback, Will. I thought of you.
You
I was
were?
in the Outback, yeah.
Were you in Uluru?
We went to Uluru, which is this gorgeous, incredible, very sacred spiritual site out in the middle of Australia. It's wild. If you ever get a chance to go, any of you, please do go.
So what's so funny is when Rose and I did this thing, we actually had this friend of hers who directed it, shot all this incredible footage all over Australia. And then we kind of narrated our way as our characters went through with this great footage. So it feels like Rose and I have been on a tour of Australia together before. So that's why she's like, we were in. And I'm like,
I know.
remember when we went there,
buddy? Remember?
Do you? I have dumb questions. Do you miss it when you're not there? Like, do you still have family? Do you still go back
I do,
a lot?
yeah. Have you ever been?
I've never been. I want to
They
go.
never dragged you out
Sean,
for
you've
like
never
a
been to
PR
Australia?
thing
I've never
or-
been.
no?
It's a very long flight.
Have you, Jason?
I have a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I
Yeah.
love
I would
Australia.
love to go there.
I will say, though, and this might be controversial,
This is
when
about
you
to be.
fly that long, you would love for it to be you would like the difference of the locale to be equal to the distance of the flight. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, it's very similar to the U.S. in that people speak English and they look sort of Anglo and they're all kind of, except they drive on the other side. It's a little bit like Canada, to me, which is great. I love Canada,
I'll
but
take the
I can get
compliment.
there in an hour. You know,
Yeah.
I can go north into Vancouver.
Okay.
I feel you were
Okay.
underwhelmed. I'm getting a feeling.
No,
you
but
were
I guess in
underwhelmed.
fairness, I was in Melbourne and in Sydney a lot, but I haven't been to the Outback. I haven't been up in Brisbane. I haven't been to Surfers Paradise.
Yeah, you were in the city, and
Yeah.
that makes sense. And I feel, look, this is a problem that we have in the world in general, which is all the cities have become so. It's the same stores in every city, right? Like you can go,
Yeah.
you can go to Paris, or you can go to Tokyo, or you can go to London, or you can go to St. Louis, and there's a Fendi store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Sean, good news, there's a Theory there and a couple of chin-chins.
Oh, fantastic. I'm in. I don't mind the flight.
There's a
So wait,
Vince.
Rose.
You can get into a Vince. Go ahead,
I've
Sean.
never seen a Vince in Australia. I know that's a stretch.
We'll be right back. SmartLess is sponsored by BetterHelp. So with just a short amount of time left to go on the Broadway with my show, everybody always asks me, where do you live? I say, the theater. Because I go from my apartment to the theater, back and forth. I don't really have too much of a life outside of what I'm doing right now. And so you start to feel stuck. You start to get stir crazy in both my tiny apartment and the tiny backstage of the theater. And so it can drive you a little mad, even though you're doing what you love doing. You kind of have to figure out how to cope with that. And you might need some help, right? And so sometimes we're faced with issues like this where we're feeling stuck, or we're feeling like cabin fever, or you're feeling just the anxiety from being confined, right? So maybe it's not that, and you're thinking about a career change, or feeling like your relationship needs some TLC. Whatever it is, therapy can help you map out your future and trust yourself to find the way forward, and it can even help you out of sticky situations like feeling like you're trapped, right? And so I talked to my therapist about the mental toll that it takes on to do, 5 months of a show. And it's hard, it's joyful, but it's also mentally taxing. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/smartless today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smartless. SmartLess gets support from Vuori Clothing. Guys, you know I don't like to talk about my personal life. I try to keep my life as private as possible. But Scotty took me on a helicopter ride recently, and it was amazing. It was incredible. We toured like the whole city, and we got real close to the Statue of Liberty. I've never been that close to the Statue of Liberty. Wow, deja vu. Anyway, tired of sacrificing style for comfort? Or, get this, vice versa? Look no further than Vuori, the performance clothing brand that combines both. Vuori offers the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet, making it the perfect investment in your happiness. From joggers to leggings to crew necks, Vuori has everything you need to stay comfy and stylish no matter what you're doing. So back to the helicopter ride. It's running around. Like, what do I wear for a helicopter ride? Every single time I go on a helicopter ride, I go in Vuori. But next time, I'll know to bring an extra pair. For our listeners, they're offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/smartless. That's VUORI.com/smartless. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but you'll also enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/smartless and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing. Our thanks to ZipRecruiter for their support. If you're hiring, you know that it's incredibly hard to attract top talent, and with the current labor market conditions, it's even harder than ever. That's why you want a partner who gets it. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter knows how tough it is right now, but they've figured out solutions for the problems you're facing. See for yourself. Right now, you can try them for free at ZipRecruiter.com/smartless. ZipRecruiter is ready to tackle your recruiting challenges. To reach more of the right people, ZipRecruiter posts your job to 100+ job sites. Need to hire ASAP? ZipRecruiter's smart technology finds great matches for your job sooner. Want first dibs on talent? ZipRecruiter lets you invite the most qualified people to apply to your job. Plus, ZipRecruiter's pricing is straightforward. No surprise costs. Team up with a hiring partner who understands what you need. ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Just go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/smartless. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/SMARTLESS. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
All right, back to the show.
But Rose, when you go there and come back, what is the culture shock? When you first moved, like what is the difference between?
I mean,
We'll still go on the vids.
What is the thing that you noticed the most? What are the differences you noticed the most
about Australia and the U.S.?
Well, Australia is a little more laid back, I think. In general, the people are probably a little bit more laid back, and it's just this place is just, you just can't compete with the scale and the amount of people and things like Australia feels, it's just a smaller population. It's like, and then culturally
it looks hotter.
It's hotter.
It just looks hot.
Yeah, it's
but
hot.
only during our winter. Only during our winter.
It can be, but also like the people, there's just in that same sort of way that the English have the same sort of thing, and I think Canadians have this a little bit as well, maybe a Commonwealth thing. There's just, people have a better sense of taking the piss out of each other and themselves.
Yeah.
They don't take themselves as seriously as Americans do.
Yeah.
On the whole. And I know that that's a very sweeping generalization. So again, hold back your fucking letters. But I think that there is that thing about you don't take yourself too seriously. And that's fun. There's a kind of, it's very fun. All the people I know in Australia, I guess a lot of them are sort of actors and comedians and et cetera, but there is that kind of fun vibe.
Do you feel like they're more a united country than we are?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, look, it's definitely
Why'd you get real with her, dude?
Oh, I'm just curious because it's smaller and everything you're saying, Will. I just thought like
I was gonna say though, it sounds like there's a lot more common sense sort of policies and way of living there than perhaps we get into here, just because of the opposite sides of things. It's very separated here, at least right now.
Yeah, I think the division here at the moment is pretty extraordinary and pretty it's not as extreme. Australians are used to government in their life a lot more than Americans are. So, for instance, you all have a speed limit. Everyone took the vaccine without any things like that.
Right.
There's just more used to that involvement. Healthcare is free, all those sorts of things. So it's just a very different mentality of government in your life.
Very similar to Canada.
Yeah, very similar.
Rose Byrne. By the way, I saw you and You Can't Take It With You.
Oh, you did?
You were fantastic. Yeah, I love that show. It was my first show I ever did in high school.
Oh, really? That's what everybody would say to me. They're like, I did this in high school. It was like,
but to see it professionally done like that, it was fantastic. James Earl Jones, it was such a great cast.
You've done it. Well, this is what I was getting into. You've done a lot of theater. In fact, and you and Bobby did Medea at BAM.
We did
to
Medea.
great acclaim.
At BAM,
And do you have any great theater stories? Sorry, Sean, I'm stealing your thunder.
Yes. What went? Yeah, I want to know what went wrong on You Can't Take It With You.
Save favorite color for Sean. Go ahead, Rose.
And also your favorite color.
My favorite. That's what my 6-year-old asks me. My 5-year-old, sorry.
Welcome to
That sounds about right. Yeah.
God, any theatre stories? I mean, I've had that person have a heart attack in row 3, and the paramedic. This was in Australia when I was doing a play, and that to come in and we were still doing the scene. It was Three Sisters, the Chekhov play, and then somebody, all of a sudden the person just starts going like
No
that
way.
and just bumps over and.
And did you have to go?
We kept going. It was really weird.
Yeah, I was going to say,
It was
do you finish
so
the show?
Weird. We finished. Not only did we finish the show, we didn't stop.
Keep going.
We didn't stop the scene.
It's Australia. They're like, unless you're bitten by a snake, you just keep going, right?
It's the snakes that stop things in Australia.
Not the heart attack.
Most powerful.
But did you keep going with the play?
We
with
kept
the
going.
Show?
We kept going,
course.
and this poor older gentleman, I think, they came in and they took him out, and everybody stood up and they put him on the stretcher and took him out.
Sure.
It was
Did they check him for an overdose of Vegemite? Because I know that it's that can be sometimes
high sodium content. Do people still say fair dinkum?
They sure
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, no, I'm sure they do.
It used to be a big one, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit dated, the slang. A little.
What does it mean?
Fair dinkum means like really, or is that right? Isn't that a replacement?
Remember,
for that?
Rose, when we did that thing, we did that Q&A, and they asked me some Australian, and they asked me fair dinkum, and I said that's fair dinkum is a term that's used to describe like somebody who's okay to hook up with. It's a fair dinkum. You know what I mean?
That I've never heard, but I like it. I thought fair dinkum was like
early 80s.
Yeah, more do you? Yeah, it's a little 80s probably. A little bit. It's a little bit dated. Fair dinkum.
I got
life.
Rose. I got a good one for you.
Yeah.
I think I told these guys. What do you call chickens? What do you call a chicken staring at lettuce?
What?
Chicken Caesar salad.
Yeah, I've been using that the last 48 hours and getting a lot of folks.
Rose, Jesus, I'm
Will,
so
do you have
sorry.
any dad jokes?
I don't have any dad jokes, not right now. No.
I'll have more by the end.
Mine are more just in the moment, just.
But
kinda
here's how
stupid.
great Sean is. Sean just FaceTimed me in the middle of the day or night the other day. I couldn't tell. And I was like, okay, I'll pick up the FaceTime.
I know.
Fucking people
Lot
to
of work.
FaceTime.
A lot of work.
And he picked up, hello. Hey, so just real quick, just for a quick joke. And then he tells me that joke and I laugh and he hangs up.
That's right.
That's the kind of socializing I enjoy.
That's
It's a
saying.
little hit and run.
And that's exactly right. I know you.
So good. I love you, Sean.
We came up the other day with, I told
That's so
Sean this,
cute.
that somebody who's had just a little bit of surgery done to them, just a little bit of work.
Somebody?
Done. Yeah, just anybody who has, you can just go, we look over them and go, they've just said, somebody had a visit from the youth fairy.
Yeah, see, I
just
like
a
that.
nice little visit from the youth fairy.
Maybe got bit by the
I
youth
like-
fairy.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Like
Rose,
that.
what do you use on your skin? Because you look like you're 12 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Your skin is
goodness.
flawless.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
you do look great.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Oh.
What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
I think it's
Do you do all the scrubs and the peels and the thing?
I think it's the lighting in here. I'm not trying to be. I think it's
But
all
are you
lighting.
good? Like,
It's all lighting, buddy.
He wants to know the name of your toner.
You go to sleep early. You eat right. You kind of do all that stuff.
All those boring things, I guess. But it is very.
She says boring.
Very dark in here. It is dark. It's got a
What are you talking
soft
about?
light. It's a really soft light.
What do you pig out on? What do you just love to pig out on
Drinking
food
this.
wise?
Look at this.
Same.
She's having a big salt. They're both having Coca-Colas.
But this
That's
is because
amazing.
I got food poisoning on the plane on the way back. Yeah.
And nothing that Coca-Cola can't solve.
Filthy. So I got the black
Don't
doctor.
name the airline.
I
Don't name the
know.
airline.
I didn't. I
Did you guys go through? Did you stop
to
in LA?
LA. We just stopped in LA. We changed planes, and then on the way from
That was it.
New York to JFK.
Just recently? Just yesterday you got
I
food
got in
poisoning?
last night, but I was like throwing up the whole time.
Last night?
No.
Oh, how do you feel
you're
today?
doing this?
Yeah. Oh no, I feel okay. Yeah, I feel okay. But it was so gross, like the tiny bag on the
God.
plane.
Oh,
I
no.
I know. It was so
Food
bad.
poisoning is the worst. Food poisoning takes over your whole brain
It's
and
amazing.
your body.
Yeah, it's like quite. It's extraordinary. It's like your whole body.
You guys had you had the kids with you as well. It was you and Bobby and the kids.
Yeah, the kids. They were asleep though because it was the last leg of the flight, so it was okay. I've just never had it on a plane before.
Yeah.
It's like, how much longer have you got left, Sean, of the show? How long is it?
August 27th is our last day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, August 27th is the closing night.
And how do you guys know each other? Like, how do you all?
23, 24 years ago.
I was his acting teacher. Wait, how? No, I.
Yeah, I still go to him. I'm still working on it. We used to play poker.
Yeah.
I met Will actually before the poker thing, but we didn't get close until we all started playing poker like regularly every week.
And then with Jason and with everybody and
Yeah.
with blah blah blah, and then we were just
Years and years ago.
years and years. And in that time, we've done 2 shows together. Sean, we never even talked about it. We've done 2 shows together.
What did you
Isn't
do
that
together?
wild?
We did
Up All Night.
on NBC with Christina Applegate and Maya, and then we did The Millers on CBS.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We'd gone on. Remember, Sean? We went on that trip, and then Sean called like a week later, called me back. He's like, "I think I'm going to do the show with you next year." And I was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god!"
Isn't that wild?
Sean, did I see that you've got a compression sleeve on your right arm?
I'm both, yeah.
Oh, from playing piano?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
No,
wear 'em all
from
day long.
lifting weights.
Yeah, exactly. Did you lift up a heavy egg salad the other day? Did you? But it's not. How the wrists? Your wrists.
The wrists are decent. They're decent. The
Do you still have to
cortisone's
ice
still
your
working.
hands at the end of every show?
I ice them before and then
Oh, my
twice
God.
after every
Oh
day.
my god.
Did you? So, are you a piano prodigy? Like from an early
Sure.
age?
No.
Classically trained.
No, I started playing when I was 5, and then I thought I was going to be a conductor and compose music and be a concert pianist, and then I got the acting bug, early on, and then I became a music director out of college, and
That's what gave you the food poisoning, right? The acting bug.
yeah,
Nice.
No.
Speaking of ice in the
take that.
hands, I took my first cold plunge the other day. Rose, are you
I'm
doing
so
that?
whole
into
body?
it. I'm so into it. Oh my god! I'm like, I never get into that stuff, and I'm addicted to it.
Rose, tell me about the
love
first
it.
time. Tell me
Yeah,
about the
'cause-
first time, because what does that feel like?
It's
Yeah,
really.
I want to.
It's
yeah, go
like,
ahead.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how you. I'm very.
I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I didn't
no.
like it. So, do I end up liking it after 2 or 3 or 4 times?
You kind of get addicted to it. I got it. I'm addicted to it. It's like you just it becomes like something you have to overcome, and
Right.
the high afterward is just so, and it's not even a high. You just feel really you're relaxed. You sleep really well. I found it
Really?
really helps me fall asleep. And your skin looks amazing. Like it does something
that's what-
amazing
thank
to
you.
your
That's what it
pores.
But
I built my first.
imagine
I can't believe you know that I built my first cold plunge 10 years ago before anybody else did. I'm now building my 3rd one out here, and I swear to God. And
So
some
hang
people
on a
go like,
sec.
"Why is
When
your
you
skin
say
look-"
you built it, you're slapping together all the ceramic on the tub there
Yeah,
and
from
running
IKEA?
pipes.
IKEA
and-
sent it over?
I'm doing a lot
You
of like, yeah, it should go
purchased.
there. Hey, keep working. Why are you guys sitting around? Like I do a lot of that. Get up, aim. Hey,
Wait,
I
want
gotta
to
get
ask.
out.
I want to ask Rose, when you first because I kind of want to try it because I not do my arms every day.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to. When you first put your toe in, I feel like it would be. My body would be so sensitive. I'd be like, I'm out. I can't do the whole.
Well, if you
I can't
start
go
in the
any further.
sauna, right? If you start really hot and then you get in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You start, but like I'm from Australia, so we swim in the ocean in the winter. It's the winter back home now, right? And I was swimming every day in the ocean, and the water's
And so cold.
freezing.
Yeah.
Pretty cold, but I go straight in, and so it's a
No
cold
wetsuit.
plunge. It's like it's just the original cold plunge is having a cold swim in the ocean.
I do the same thing, and I go back home in LA. I start every day with I have the sauna as well, which I do later in the day with the cold. But in the morning, I do just straight into the cold plunge. Yeah.
How long?
Every day.
How long do you?
Like the other day, if I can make it 3 minutes, then that's good.
amazing,
But usually about 2 minutes.
I'm 2
in the morning.
2,
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
I was told you got to make it 4, and I felt like a
Chase
loser
is like,
at 2.
I was told
I do-
30 minutes.
3 minutes, but I keep mine at 39 degrees, so it's very cold.
Oof, mine's not that cold. Mine's probably 45. It's not 30.
Yeah.
Is there a way to do it where you build up the tolerance to the
Yeah,
cold?
you
you
can
don't
do it for
make-
30 seconds. That's even good.
But it does everything. It reduces inflammation. It does all the benefits of it are so. If you can build it up, I forget what the actual number is, but it's something. It's not even that much. It's like if you can do 10 minutes cumulative minutes per week, it does X. Benefits, and inflammation is the root of all. God, now we sound like Huberman.
Super relatable. Hey, but what can you do like a frog boil type of strategy with it, where it starts sort of room temperature and then you progressively get it colder and colder, and you end up staying in there for 20 minutes? Because you don't really notice it getting colder.
Theoretically, I guess, man. I don't know. I don't work for the fucking pool company, dude. So,
all right, back to Rose. Let's get back to Rose.
How long can you do it for, Jason?
It's just the first time. I think I was 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
It felt
good.
all right, but
How did you handle that,
painful.
Jason? Like going, did you go junk right away, or did you go slowly?
No, I went right away, but it was after the sauna, so I was deep sweat. I've never been hotter, and then went in
So
there.
it felt good.
that makes it. So like as I've been building. So by the time Jay you get here, the new one will be built. So as I've been waiting for it for the last year, this is true. I have this big inflatable temporary tub out here, and I go and I'll get like 8-10 bags of ice. And I fill it in with water, and I make this big slushy ice thing, and I do it like that, and I sit in the ice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Rose, I want to talk about your family. So listen, when you, what was it like growing up? Did you get pushed into this? Is it something you wanted to do? How did you get exposed to doing the thing you love to do?
Well, I grew up in a neighbourhood called Balmain, and there was a lot of kids in my neighbourhood who used to go to the Australian Theatre for Young People, which is called ATYP, and a friend of mine was like, I think you'd really like it. And I was only little, I was 8. And that's how I started, was just doing these classes after school and just loved it.
Oh, really?
Just loved
Anybody
it.
else in your family into it? Or
No, none of my
just you guys?
siblings, not my parents, anything. The neighborhood we were in was, somewhat bohemian, I guess. There was sort of a lot of artists there at the time. It's a bit more gentrified now. But that was it. Yeah, that was how I started, was going to ATYP. Yeah, doing classes.
Has your favorite part of it changed at all? Or do you still love the same things?
I still get nervous. I still get nervous before every job. I still get panicked and think, how am I going to do this? How am I not going to screw this up? Like I feel like the nerves are still there about it. Like I don't know, the actor's condition is sort of, you can't really change it, right? Do you guys feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, anytime I'm calm, I end up doing a terrible job. A little bit of nerves keeps me focused.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But it's funny though. But for somebody who you say that you get nervous or whatever, I mean, and I mentioned this before, like you're always working. You have 2 shows and a movie out right now as of the time of this broadcast. Like you've got Physical, your show Physical, right? Which is your thing about set in the 80s, where you play this sort of like a housewife who's kind of discontent. There's more than that, but that's the log line I'm going to give you. And then you've got Platonic with Seth Rogen, right? The show where you guys play best friends who are having platonic, and then you have Insidious. And I'm like, this is like, that's to have 3 major things out at the same time. I mean, it's unusual, and it's a lot.
Please, you have freedom to complain. Go.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, all the press.
And do you feel, the press, exactly. So the press alone that you have to do for that stuff. And a little bit is like, be careful what you wish for. Do you ever feel like that?
I'm honestly such like, you got to make hay a little bit. It's such a sort of, but I feel like when I've, it's job by job, right? Like when I got the scripts for Physical, this was a few years ago, but it was just such a interesting premise and pilot and like a character I'd never really seen before, set in this really specific world of like, how the wellness industry really began, sort of like reverse engineering that and really looking at this illness of bulimia, which is something that's never really been examined before on screen in a way that wasn't like a punchline or wasn't sort of, and this was doing it in a way that I thought was really interesting. And it's really Annie Wiseman's story. She's the creator, and she's been very much a touchstone for me in terms of like how we represent it. And but I don't know about you guys, but I just always feel like the last job you do is maybe the last job you'll ever get. Like,
Oh,
I always
100%.
feel
Yeah.
like that.
Always.
Like, I don't
Always.
know.
Yeah.
I
always feel
It's-
so fortunate to like get another job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
We
it's
all
just
do.
so hard, It's this business does no one anyone favors, really. Like it's
know.
so I very much have that.
We'll be right back.
SmartLess is brought to you in part by State Farm. Hey, SmartLess listener. Think of all the amazing things in life that are expressions of just you. For instance, the song you stream over and over again while you're in your 13th hour of gaming at 4 a.m. with all the lights off, trying not to wake up your roommates. Or the recommendations that you share with your friends on the top 6 comedy podcasts that are the best to listen to on your way to the gym and back. Or even your new haircut, which may or may not be an epic bowl cut from the 90s and hopefully is. Everything that makes you, you makes all the difference. State Farm believes insurance should work the same way. Your plan, your coverage selections can be personalized by you. And the ability to choose the plan you want by picking the options that fit you, like choosing to bundle your home or audio policies, is what the State Farm Personal Price Plan is all about. Getting the coverage you want at an affordable price just for you. So are you ready to make things personal? Call or go to statefarm.com today to create your State Farm Personal Price Plan. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary. We're brought to you in part by GoodRx. Are you one of the millions of Americans affected by changes in your insurance status or loss of Medicaid? GoodRx is here to help with easy prescription savings and straightforward guidance for navigating changes in coverage. With GoodRx, you can instantly find discounts and save up to 80% on retail prescription prices. And GoodRx is totally free and simple to use. All you need to do is search for your prescription on the GoodRx website or app and show your discount at the pharmacy counter. It's that easy. GoodRx is accepted at all the major pharmacies in your neighborhood, including CVS, Kroger, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Vons, Walmart, Sam's Club, and many, many more. And remember, GoodRx doesn't just work for new prescriptions. It can help you save big on all of your refills, too. I have a friend who was, discussing, not necessarily complaining, but discussing about how much his medications cost. And I told him about GoodRx, and he used it, and he raved about it. Talked to me like a week later saying how much money he saved. And I'm so happy for him, truly. So to start saving on prescription, regardless of your coverage status, check GoodRx. Go to goodrx.com/smartless. That's goodrx.com/smartless. GoodRx is not insurance. And now back to the show.
And then, like I said, you started and you did a lot of dramatic stuff, and you did a lot of like huge movies. You did, I'd sort of forgotten that you had done Troy all those years ago, which is so crazy. It must seem like a different lifetime ago, a little bit, right?
Yeah, I was so
Talk
young.
about working on that, because
That was in Malta, right?
Yeah, in
Malta.
Malta.
Jason's Maltese.
Yeah, I am.
No.
My grandma, on my mom's
Are you being
side.
serious?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Look at his fingers. Show us
Yeah.
your fingers, Jay.
Yeah.
Look at those big fingers for hauling nets.
Yeah, so you got to have them a little bit fatter, so when you pull in the fishnets, you don't cut through to the bone. Yeah,
That's
and you
funny.
and I've got webbed feet. If I fall off the boat, I can swim.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah,
shot
once
there?
when I was a little kid. I would like to go
Okay.
back. Will, you're thinking about going, aren't you, Willie?
Mm.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go a couple weeks ago, and then we bailed. But yeah, I am going to go. I think in the spring.
They used to shoot a lot there. They shot, we shot there.
They're
for,
going to
you
do
know,
more. They're going to do more.
They are,
They're about to do more. So you go to Malta to do Troy with Brad Pitt.
with Brad Pitt. Have you heard of him?
I mean, how old
that,
were
yeah.
you when you did
I
that?
was like 12. I don't know. I was so young. I was like 23, and just it was pretty overwhelming. I was extremely shy. Like I was very, very shy, and I play like a. I played Briseis, who gets like captured and thrown to him as like a toy that he can, do what he wants with. So it was pretty funny. It's a lot of, me tied up, like, excuse me, sir, I don't want to talk to you. No, like, beast, like that. It's very...
Yeah.
Don't you kiss me on the mouth.
And yeah, I was just really shy.
How did that come about? Like, what was the process
I auditioned.
of that?
I had done this movie called Wicker Park, this movie with Diane Kruger and Josh Hartnett and Matthew Lillard, like in Montreal. And from there, I got an audition for Troy. And weirdly, Diane Kruger also, she played Helen of Troy. So we like spent 2 years together back in like, 20 years ago. And yeah, it was just such a huge, insane budget and so many extras and so many, it was just, Peter O'Toole was in the movie. I remember, he would be smoking, he was incredible, this legendary actor, and he was very fond of us, of me, and we hit it off. We kind of got along and really well. And I remember him climbing the stairs of like one of the ancient ruins that we were filming at and really breathing really hardly. Like, like going up the stairs, and one of the PAs saying to him, I think you might have to give up the ciggies, Pete, or something. And he was like, or I should just give up the stairs.
Yeah. And you're fired.
That's so good. What an answer.
I know, it was good. He had all
One of my
clips.
dumb questions is how hard is the American accent? I like asking people
I love that.
Do you have like a word that clicks you into it? Because you have such a great American accent.
Oh, thanks, pal. We had a lot of American TV in Australia, so I grew up watching Seinfeld and Family Ties and stuff like that.
So you learned the American accent from my sister. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
You sound a little like Justine.
Let her know. But I had this really hard dialogue once when I did Damages. When I still say it to try if I'm having a problem. Patty hired 24-hour security for Katie.
Wow.
And that's
so it's the
what I
R's.
said. Patty hired 24-hour security for Katie.
Wow. What is that? Wait, what is that from? That's
From this
just
show I did
Damages.
Damages with
Damages,
Glenn.
wow.
And it was,
So
it's real-
R's are tough.
Yeah, and
I'm
hired.
assuming.
Patty hired. That's a hard one. Hired.
How do you say hired in Australian?
Hired.
Hired.
Yeah,
Hired.
Hired.
Hired,
24-hour security for Katie.
Yeah, we just sound sort of efficient and right, just sort of like that. That is true, right?
But
We
that
sound like a
was-
bunch of knobs.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That was really that's my go-to when I'm done. But I love it. I kind of, if I don't have to do an accent, I feel a bit strange. Like on Platonic, there was this whole Nick Stoller really wanted me to be Australian. And I was very much like, I'm not sure, I don't know. I just want to, I didn't quite. And then, anyway, I agreed to do it. He's like,
You did Australian, but you were there were moments where you sounded not totally yourself, kind
Yeah,
of
a little bit, right?
American.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Platonic, I noticed that because I watched it. I noticed that.
Yeah.
God, you're so good in it, Rose. You're so
pal.
good.
With your countrymen, Seth.
I know with Seth, we love, and a friend of the show.
We love Seth. You
Yeah.
must love working with him. You've done a few things
the
with him,
best.
Yeah,
right?
you guys have done a bunch.
He's Canadian. That's what I always say.
I know.
He's like,
He's a great dude.
Yeah, he's a great
Rose,
guy.
a fan question. Was Bridesmaids
Oh, are
as
you
much
getting
fun
emails
to-
from fans right now?
Yeah. Was Bridesmaids as much fun making it as it is watching it? Because I remember I went opening weekend and
Oh my God, you did?
yeah, back in the
cute.
day.
What
and
a great movie.
it just come out, not too many people were talking about it. It was like the second day it was out or something.
Yeah.
And
You
and I
discovered it?
I'm the one who told everybody about it. No, and I remember emailing Wig, and I'm just like, oh my God, I love that movie so much. And it was just, and then it just became this huge thing.
Exploded.
But it's one of my favorite movies. It's one of billions of people's favorite movies of all time. But it looks like it was a blast, and you laughed every single day.
We did. It was one of those jobs where it definitely had no idea that it would become such a beloved film at all. It was like a mid-sized film. It wasn't, it was like,
Yeah.
What was weird was acting with that many women, I must say. That was bizarre. Like the big days when we had all those set pieces and it was just like 8 women or, all of the girls together. That was really unusual because usually if you're in a film, there's not often you're the only woman or you're doing a scene opposite a guy, or it's very rare to have that. And that was, I remember thinking, and those days were so fun because we all really hit it off. It was like it was a very good vibe on set, and everybody was really fun.
How often do you and Bobby get to work together?
We've worked together a lot, Jason, actually. We did Medea together at BAM right before the pandemic hit, which was pretty wild because we saw that kind of coming in, like the audiences starting to slow down and New York starting to shut down, and this word about what's happening is this thing. And then we had our final show, and then 3 days later the whole of Broadway shut down. I remember hearing, there's an Usher had it and someone else, and then New York just was like the apocalypse. Were you guys in New York, or you were probably
what during the pandemic? Because me and the guys on the other podcast, we have like real, heavy duty opinions about it.
The pandemic.
All the dudes on all the other podcasts, we got real opinions about what government.
God. It was such a.
We were all in
time.
LA.
You were all in LA, yeah.
Yeah, we were all in LA, and
and birthing this thing. Trying to find it, figure out a way to keep talking.
Guys, I'm sorry it didn't work out that well for you, huh? It's been a real
it's been a bummer.
failure, hasn't it?
It's been a bummer, but kind of, and I love Bridesmaids too. I mean, Bridesmaids is so funny, and obviously Wig is created, and we love Paul Feig. Jason and I've worked with Paul before a number of times, and he's such a great dude, and
always in a suit. Always in a suit.
Always in a suit. Right. Always the sharpest dressed guy in showbiz.
He had one of those VW bugs when they first came out. And you remember the little vase that they have in the front? He had a little flower in his vase.
Yeah.
Right on the dashboard.
He's just
he's a classy guy, and his wife is awesome, and he's just a cool dude. Yeah. But everybody in that movie, and obviously Melissa and everybody, just such a great cast. And Maya. So you've done that.
Don't forget about Ben Falcone.
And Ben Falcone, the great Ben Falcone, who we love. I know, now we're going to get text from Ben Falcone. How did you not mention me?
Yeah, we did. Barely got it in there, Will.
I know. Well, now Ben doesn't have to text us. But then, so you do that. Then you start doing more and more comedy. But you can also seamlessly go back. My question for you is there something that you haven't, because it feels like you can kind of do everything, is there something that you're like, what's the big thing that's out there that you haven't done yet that you're like, I want to do something like X? Is there something that kind of in the back of your mind that's...
Or stuff they don't call you for.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't they call me for that stuff?
Oh my gosh. I mean, for me, I feel like comedy and drama, like the stakes are even higher in comedy. Don't you think to make something funny is like...
Yeah.
It is fun and all that stuff, but it's hard work in a different way, Like it's.
But what's great about you is you never ask for any
Yeah.
laughs. You're always so great about Some people some dramatic actors that try to play comedy, they just sort of like speak louder and make faces. You just keep it all very relatable and grounded and real, and your brand of humor. I love it.
Oh, pal, you're very sweet.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
But what about like playing? What about somebody with a limp and a lisp and old age makeup and like that kind of character acting? Are you excited about that?
I would like to play Hamlet. Hamletta.
We could arrange that.
Hamletta.
Let's do
Hamletta.
it in the
Come on.
park.
In the park.
Hamletta in the park.
Actually, all jokes aside, Hamletta as a comedy something is really funny.
It'd be called Hamletta and Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've figured it out, guys. I'm going to call CIA. I'm going to put it together. Bobby can play Ophelia. How do we?
Ophelio.
Put him in a little wig and a little dress. He'll be cute. Ophelia.
But there's nothing that you're like, oh man, you don't like sit there and like talk to your friends and like, mate, why am I not getting this?
Oh,
I imagine that you're always talking to your friends saying, mate.
Is there somebody like a historical figure you'd want to ever play, or somebody like in the public eye, or some part you ever like really aching to do?
well, I did this show, Mrs. America, and it was set in the second wave feminist movement, and I played Gloria Steinem, and that was extraordinary, I must say, and a lot of pressure. Obviously, she's still very active, and she's extraordinary, but that was really nerve-wracking, and that was definitely something I tried to get out of because I was like...
Really?
Was that the first time you played a real person?
Screw that up. I have played Duchess de Polignac in Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette. opposite
wow.
Kirsten does, but I played it was a very, very small part, but she was a real person. Yeah. She was like a
But nobody
good
also
time
can.
girl.
Nobody can really reference her and go, "Hey, she didn't talk like that."
Right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
She parted her hair on the right side.
She's a little more obscure. Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you haven't heard of her? You haven't heard of her?
So were you pressured, like having to do an impersonation or an accurate one, or did you kind of like do your version of her?
Well, she's so different from me, where she came from and grew up and sounded. So it was a lot of technical work like that, but it was really fun. It was eventually it was really fun, and her look is just so specific. Like her silhouette is so iconic, no? So it's just like trying to like get that silhouette. She's one of those few people that immediately kind of who she is. So just by her silhouette, so that was really nerve-wracking trying to kind of get that right, and the voice and how she walks and all that was very, very specific, but really fun. But I mean, gosh, I'm inspired by so much stuff I see. Like I loved Everything Everywhere All at Once. I thought that genre is great. I'd love to try to that kind of wild genre is something I've never been part of. That would be really. It's all about directors, right, guys?
It's all about
guys.
What do you do
100%.
to what's your thing you do to just sort of goof off? What's your downtime thing?
Yeah, are you watching like dumb TV to unwind? Are you?
Yeah,
Are you a bike rider? Are you
cold
going
plunge?
to the
Cold plunge,
plunge.
guys.
Oh, yeah.
I do the cold plunge.
You do the cold plunge?
I try to do that 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And I'm, God, what else do I do?
Are you a
when I'm
book
around?
reader?
Yeah,
Are you
I do. I'm a book reader.
Yeah.
And I'll watch bad TV. Like Bobby
Yeah.
thinks I'm pretty trashy. Like he's like, baby, why are you doing that? Why are you watching that?
Yeah. You ever pull him down into your little cesspool of
No,
reality TV?
he just wants to watch sport.
Attaboy. What's he addicted to? I get caught watching golf all the time, and I'm very embarrassed by
He's
it.
got a big live draft he does with like
Football.
fantasy.
Rudd and
sure.
Ham and all those guys.
Yeah,
They do a big live draft every year. This year they're not
Fantasy
sure if they
football.
can do it because there's some scheduling issues going on. So he's deeply unhappy. He's very unhappy.
That's Rudd.
But he loves the football. He loves the footy, and I've grown to like it. I don't quite understand it, but I'm I try to get into. I think it's good to get into sport. It's a good
It's a good TV product, that football.
It's designed around advertising, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you figured it out. It's a moneymaker.
Yep.
But I've been loving going to the theater. I saw Goodnight Oscar, obviously, and that's been great to like get back. I just felt like it was so quiet, right, for a while, Sean. And then that feels like that's what Bobby and I loved. We just love to go to see shows. So that's been really fun to like.
It is one of the great things about when you live in New York, just being able to
and
go
when
and see.
when you live in the city,
Yeah.
Can I ask? Have you had people on their phone texting, phone calls? Yeah.
Yeah. One time.
What do you do? Do you do anything? Have you said anything?
Yeah, one night, it was the perfect timing. It was, I can't remember the line. Some phone was going off and I had a line. I told you guys, I can't remember what it is, but, and the line had to do with being quiet, and I delivered it straight to that person in the audience.
Wow.
Whatever the line was.
Did they laugh?
I got a little chuckle, a little claps.
I love
some claps because everybody, it's so annoying. But right in the middle of the last part where me and June, the girl playing my wife, Emily, we were crying together, and the phone's and so we're just like, and everybody in the theater's like, what the fuck? I just got. So it completely ruined the moment. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's been fun having Sean on the podcast.
Exactly.
Rose, it is so fun hanging. It actually, in a lot of ways, it was like all of a sudden, like Rose is just kind of like the fourth.
Yeah, thanks for
member of
letting
the
Will and Sean
crew.
and I catch up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like you're just like it's just like we're just hanging with Rose.
That's the name of the episode.
So
Pleasure,
see,
guys.
she's so easy to get along with.
flattered.
Sean. So Sean and Rose, you guys don't know each other, right?
No, not
But
really.
you guys would
no.
be great friends I believe that. Don't you think, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're going to have a great time tonight. Rose is going to go back to the show and go backstage and
jump on the subway.
help him ice his hands.
She's going to get there. She's got a bag in front of her. She's holding a bag on the subway.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I would love to see Bobby again, too, so we should grab a bite if there's time.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell him. Yeah.
I know.
Sure. Yeah.
Send Bobby our love.
I will.
He's one of the great guys. And thank you, Rose, for coming and doing
guys.
this.
I'm very,
Yeah.
And I
very
know you're tired.
flattered. I was nervous. Talk about nervous. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, please. And drink a lot of electrolytes from your food poisoning.
I will.
Yeah, good advice. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks,
Okay.
buddy.
All right, we love you, Rose.
Lots of love, Rose.
Nice
Thank
to see you guys.
You
too,
too.
sweetie.
All right. Thanks
Bye,
for having
Rose.
me.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Of course.
Isn't she sweet, y'all?
She is so sweet.
Very nice. Very nice.
She's very nice. She's such a talent. She's done like 100 movies.
I know.
She's been nominated for like Golden Globes, Emmys, for everything she does.
Boy, is she like stunningly beautiful.
And she's gorgeous and she's smart as hell. And above everything else, she's so cool
Yeah.
and down to earth.
Yeah,
and
she
that's what I was
seems like
I wonder what the
What's the bad
what
thing?
the blind spot
what's
is.
the blind-
Yeah. Like what's she doing? Does she
she probably just got done with the podcast and threw all the equipment against the wall.
maybe she's
Maybe.
nasty. She's nasty to babies.
I said to
whenever
somebody
she sees a
recently-
baby, she just triggers something in her.
I said to somebody recently, I was talking to somebody and I said,
random.
so-and-so, he's got a real blind spot. And they go, everybody's got a blind spot. And I said, I don't see mine.
Nice.
Jesus.
That's
So-
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
Here
you know
goes
what?
Sean.
I love.
Here goes Sean. Here he comes.
I know.
Get it.
Sean,
Well,
Sean, get it.
Jesus Christ.
I love her. I love her.
Let's hear
I
it.
love her so much.
Sometimes I wonder if she thought that I might go
Bite?
take another bite of my tuna sandwich while I'm
Sandwich.
interviewing her.
There it is.
Sean, go ahead. Was that it?
Go ahead.
No, that
Sean.
was fine. Take another bite of my sandwich. Everybody can
you
go
were
in the
gonna
corners now.
Were you going to use bite?
No, I was going to say it's nice she lives in Brooklyn because it's so near. Bye.
Nearby what? Oh, nearby you.
Yes.
Oh, nearby you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, try again. Will, you
I
got
feel
one?
like you did use nearby recently.
I probably did.
You know
Hey,
what I
what's the
mean?
name of that one bay in Australia?
Oh, yeah. But here's the thing. We
Yeah.
forgot to ask her if she spent any time growing up at Bondi Beach. Bondi.
Not even the word. That's
No,
Bondi.
not Bondi. By
Oh, bye. Oh, wait. There it is. Guys, we're back. Who wants it? Who wants it? Sean, you know. Byron Bay.
Smart. Less.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Rob Armjarv, Byrne't Barbaco, and Michael Granteri.
Smart. Less.
This episode was recorded on July 7th. Our next episode will be out in a week wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can listen to it right now early on Amazon Music, or early and ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.
He's a suave billionaire, owner of the Dallas Mavericks and the sharkiest shark on Shark Tank. Yes, I'm talking about Mr. Business himself, Mark Cuban, and our SmartLess interview with him is available now 4 weeks early on Wondery Plus. Mark unravels the secrets behind the phenomenal success and recounts the magical moment when he became a member of the Billionaire Club. Our interview with Mark Cuban was recorded live in Chicago in front of thousands of our biggest fans from our SmartLess tour. This is the 7th of 10 interviews with new episodes releasing every Thursday. We're talking with celebrities and icons like the great Will Ferrell, Conan O'Brien, Kevin Hart, Jimmy Kimmel, and so many more. And it wouldn't be SmartLess if Scotty and I didn't take the opportunity to pitch Mark Cuban our new idea. Will we land a deal of a lifetime? You'll have to listen to find out. We call that a tease in the biz. You can listen to these episodes 4 weeks early and ad-free with Wondery Plus. Find Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.